whole new world to me. It was a single world. It was a scary world. But I had a lot of friends. It was basically salt and pepper friends mixed of all different kinds of people. And after July, I stayed true to it all the way up to the divorce. And I said, I can do this. And they said, we're going to take you out. We're going to start taking you out, and you're going to meet new people, and you're going to find new things. And I said, let's do it. And we went out the first 2 times, and I was a little nervous, and things weren't working. I hit the 3rd time, and I'm sitting on the side of the bar. All my friends are standing around me, and as I'm sitting there, there's a woman sitting up at the bar who has a cowboy hat on. She has pants that weren't worn out at Old Navy, and she had to have been around in her mid-40s. This is when I discovered a cougar, and I'm 33. This was something. This is a new phenomenon for me. And she was wearing a shirt that said Tractor Supply. That tells you anything. And so all my friends are all standing around me going, "Come on, man. Come on, she's staring at you, fucker. She's staring at you, man." And I'm playing it cool. I said, "I know, bitch. I know that. I know. I'm doing my thing. I've got my thing right here. I know what I'm doing." So I give it a minute and I build it up. And I said, "All right, snakes, heights, or deep water, motherfucker. I'm ready to go. I've never been afraid of anything. Let's try this. Let's try this." So I walk up to the bar. I see there's 2 empty stools next to her. So I count those out. I move over. And I stand and I stare straight at that bartender. And I said, because I figure I'm going to play my game right. I said, "Bartender, I'll have a Guinness. Because I like my beer like I like my women. Thick and black." I'm staring over at her. She cocks her head up slightly. And she walks over to the DJ. And I'm thinking either I just messed this up or I'm in trouble. So I walk back over to the guys, and as I'm walking over to the guys, she walks away from the DJ and walks up to me. She's grabbing my hand. She says, "We're going to the dance floor." We go to the dance floor. The dance floor is fucking empty. And she pulls me up on it. The song ends at 3/4 of the way through. And all of a sudden I'm hearing, and you may not know it, Google it later, fuckers, but Pony Genuine. So this song basically is, you want it, let's do it, ride it, Pony, whole fucking 9 yards. I know I'm in trouble because this is a cowgirl. There's no doubt about that. So my strategy is, you look like a parking meter, stand like a fucking parking meter. So I stood there like a parking meter, and she's grinding me. She's grinding the shit out of me in ways that I know I'm going to develop a rash. It's coming. And she's going, and she's doing her dance all over the fucking place. She grabs me by the back of my neck, and I can feel it's by one finger, and the only thing I could determine was it was the middle finger. And she grabs me, she pulls close to me, and right in my ear she says, and this is no shit, she says, "I am going to ride you like a fucking horse."
Yeah.
And I said, deep inside, I'm fucking scared out of my mind. But I hold composure. As I'm holding my composure, she grabs the top of my head, and she pushes me down. And she's pushing me down between her breasts. And then she's pushing me down between her breasts. She's pushing me down to her, well, I mean, if you all read 50 Shades, it's called her sex. So since she pushes me down, I'm staring up, and I'm getting a whiff. Now, this isn't bad, because when this whiff hits me, I testify in front of you now, it could be none other than the smell of Fun Dip. I don't know how she accomplished this, but it blew me off my fucking feet. So at this point, I'm sitting on my ass. So I'm sitting back on my ass, and I'm blown out of my mind because this woman has now invoked my childhood through her vagina. So as I'm holding inside I'm going, "Hold your composure, bitch, hold your composure. You got this, man. Don't let her own you. Don't let her own you. Hold this. And I don't know what the definition precisely to you is of speaking in tongues, but I know it became raunchy in my head as I was thinking. I rise above it, because I know I got these fuckers behind me watching. So I rise above it, and as I rise above it, I decide, I'm gonna own this. So I reach over, and it did her the same way I suspect she did to me. I grabbed her by the back of her neck and I said, not unlike a wild horse, I am prone to resist. She cocked her head back like I had said something very offensive. She touched back, and I'm standing there and I'm thinking, this is good, this is going to work. You know, I got her ass at this point. And she says, okay. She did the same thing, kneeled up right in my ear, and she says, okay, what's going to happen now is, she says, I'm going to fuck you, but now I have to break you. And then, after that, I don't think I give a shit whether you come or not. So, I'm like, I'm not going to have this. This is not going to happen. Fuck this cougar fucking world. Fuck that. I'll show her. But they quickly stopped. And I leaned over and I said, I'll tell you now, I'm very fucking sorry about what I said a minute ago. So she takes me out of that bar while all my friends are smiling and laughing and screaming and the whole 9 yards. And I'm not going to give you the whole details. But the deal is that it involved the loft of a barn, and I had a sinus infection for 3 fucking days. That is a true story. The confidence from that built me up to 2 weeks later, when we're sitting at the bar and there's a chick sitting over at the table and she's real cocky and she's got the 2 straws in the drink, and I'm looking at her and I can't, there's something about it. I'm saying there's something about this woman that is going to cause a resistance that I want to challenge, like this other guy. The one with this cougar gave me a challenge. So I'm staring at her, and my friends are looking, and they've been at this bar many times, and they keep shaking their head. And I walk up to the bartender, and I said, bartender, what, I know she's drinking a bourbon and Coke. I know it. And he said, yeah, she is. He said, don't mess with it, man. Don't mess with it. And I said, no, how much is a bourbon and Coke? He said, $3. I said, well, I'm going to give you 10, and you're going to skip out on that Coke a little bit. He makes the drink, and I'll walk it over. And as soon as I walk it over, I see her rolling her eyes. I hand her the drink, and she looks up at me, and she says, don't even try. She says, I only date black men. Something about that hit me wrong, and I said, well, that's okay, because I only date closed-minded bitches. And this caused her to cock her head back. And she told me to go ahead and have a seat. So I had a seat, and we talked for a while, and she continued to use her attitude. And as I sat there, I knew it was coming, and she said, you know, do you want to go back to my place? And the first thing that came to my mind, which I used it, was, bartender, I'll have myself a Guinness. Thank you.
Keep it going for Kevin, Mackie, and Embry.